Live. Happy Sunday. A big top four this weekend, though maybe not in the order you expected it to be. It's not quite in the order I expected it to be either. Some did well, some not as much. We'll talk about it all coming up here on LCJ Live. Two of the big new movies this weekend in that top four. Similar storylines and similar things going on. Also, by the way, celebrating the 10th anniversary of La La Land. How about that? Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone's characters here with me. La La Land back in theaters and select theaters for its 10th anniversary today. But number one this weekend is Spider-Man Brand New Day, $70 million. It's exactly what I predicted, $70 million. It has already hit over $2 billion worldwide. Congratulations to Sony on being one of the biggest films ever. And in terms of North America right now, it is number 5. It is in that top 5 all time. But interestingly, these include re-releases. The money included in this top 5 includes re-releases. So, when Avengers Endgame comes out, with its re-release on September 25, that money will change. What's up? Fanimator 101, love Paw Patrol 3, hoping we get a 4th movie. We will see what happens. Thanks for being here on LCJ Live. So, yeah, Spider-Man Brand New Day is doing really, really well, but Avengers Endgame, when that re-release comes out, it will climb. That 858 it has will climb because that chart that's on Box Office Mojo includes re-releases. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that because you look at a movie like Avatar, which did 749, but with the re-releases, it's higher than that. It's in the 780s, something like that, or more. I'd like to see just the original run. Even Spider-Man No Way Home had that re-release, that extended edition, and some other re-releases with it, and that added some money to it. I'd like to see just the first release, just the original release, like Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is still in the lead with $937 million. But are we looking at, as I predicted here a few weeks ago, here on LCJ Live, $1 billion North American picture in Spider-Man Brand New Day? We are only $214.2 million away from that. It only needs $214.2. That is 3 times what it did in this current weekend. That's not going to be easy, but it's doable. Will it pass that 937? That is more likely. But to get to that $1 billion, it's going to need a strong Labor Day weekend, a strong next several weekends at the box office, and we will see what happens. I'll get to Paw Patrol, but it's not number 2, as I thought it would be. It is The Odyssey in second place this weekend with another $23.2 million. The total for The Odyssey right now, North America, over $500 million, 505. It is well over 1.2 billion, if not close to 1.3 billion-ish worldwide, or something close to that. And wow, The Odyssey just keeps making money because the Christopher Nolan fans, the cinephiles, want to see this movie. Cinephiles want to see some of the big movies. We're talking about this Avengers Dune combo, Doomsday, coming out at the end of the year. The fans are going to want to see both of those. That's going to be a huge time, as has been the case now with Spider-Man and The Odyssey. It is the 3rd biggest Universal film ever in North America, only behind Jurassic World and the Super Mario Brothers movie from 2023. Number 3 this weekend, according to the estimates, is The End of Oak Street with $21 million. Now, I predicted $20 million for The End of Oak Street, so I was only off by $1 million. But right now, Warner Brothers has this ahead of Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, which is in 4th as of now, $20.5 million. I thought Paw Patrol would do better than this, based on the crowded screening I was at over a week ago, where this poster was, and more things with that. I thought it would do a little better. I'm glad it's over 20 million as of now. Hopefully it stays that way with the actual results. But I thought it would do better because the last one did 22.8 million and totaled 65. It also opened to number 1. We're at number 4 here. Obviously was not going to beat Spider-Man this weekend. I thought it could be number 2. But The Odyssey, the phenomenon of that, and you had Oak Street, you had direct Dino double feature, direct battle. A good battle for mid-August. We had good battles last August, a little bit with Weapons and Freakier Friday, but this was a really tight battle this weekend, and it may not be over. Paw Patrol could win in the actual results when they're unveiled tomorrow. But yes, the last Paw Patrol from 2023 did 22.8, totaled 65.3. The first Paw Patrol opened to 13, totaled 40. So we're going to pass the 40. Or are we going to pass that 65? I'd like to say yes, but interesting family film competition now over the next several weeks. You have, this week, The Magic Faraway Tree, then Coyote vs. Acme, then the new Tom and Jerry, along with the re-release of Cars, shortly thereafter, followed by the new Shaun the Sheep movie and DreamWorks' Forgotten Island. That rounds out the end of September. I think Paw Patrol will still make some money all the way through Labor Day weekend. I think it can get to that 65, but I'm a little underwhelmed at the number. I'm happy for the folks at Paramount that it's over 20, and I had a great conversation with Cal Brunker and Bob Barlin. Get that at lcj.podbean.com and animationscoop.com. There you can also get my conversation with Coyote vs. Acme director Dave Green. But I really thought this could do 30. But, you know, families, it's summertime, a lot of people on vacation. When the last Paw Patrol came out, it was September. School was in session, but families needed that escape from school, and so they went to Paw Patrol, the Mighty movie, the Dino movie. Maybe it'll do better during the week because a lot of kids are still out of school as opposed to the last one being in September. Lots of comments coming in here on LCJ Live. Thank you for them. What's up, Christian Kozlowski? Kelly is kind of awkward is here as well. Fanimator 101. Zootopia 3 is on the way, according to Disney. Let's see. I did see Oak Street. It's terrible. It's just terrible. It is so ridiculous. And here's the thing. I'm all for the B-movie kind of throwback drive-in 70s, 80s picture. Fine. But you either go all the way with that or you don't do it at all. They tried to do multiple things in Oak Street, including making this really sappy family melodrama. And the sappy family melodrama just overtakes everything. I laughed a couple times during the movie and laughing at what was going on the screen. It is so ridiculous. Some of the dialogue, some of the facial expressions, some of the things that happen. Oh my gosh, it is really dumb. This movie's really dumb. But you can still have fun with something, but it's all the, oh, no, our marriage is falling apart, all that. Come on. We don't, if you want to have fun or you want to be the serious, but it's a freaking dinosaur movie. I mean, but the whole concept of it. And then what they try to do with it. And you're trying to piece it together and you realize there is no logic. There is nothing here that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't care if it's sci-fi. It is just, oh gosh, it's a waste of time. I mean, about 35 minutes in, I'm going, what are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? I have better things to be doing with my time. You have better things to be doing with your time, like go seeing The Rivals of Mziah King, which is an excellent film. Only made $1 million this weekend, but hey, Matthew McConaughey, hey, as Regis and Kelly used to call him, is really good in this movie. Angelina Looking-Glass, Kurt Russell's great, one of my favorite roles of his ever. Go see The Rivals of Mziah King from Andrew Patterson. Early on, a little bit of it doesn't work, but the rest of the way through, holy cow, this is a ride. Go see The Rivals of Mziah King. I also recommend you go see The Brink of War, which I think is very good. The three central performances there, you got Jeff Daniels, Jared Harris, J.K. Simmons. They're all fantastic in this movie. Especially Jared Harris. Really good as Mikhail Gorbachev. Jeff Daniels is Reagan. He doesn't try to do what Dennis Quaid did, but that's fine. Dennis Quaid was really good as Reagan. Jeff Daniels is very good. It's just, it's not as immersive of a Reagan, but it doesn't need to be. After about 2 minutes, you go, okay, I'm just locked in on their conversations. And J.K. Simmons is very good as well. So go see The Brink of War. It only made $2.7 million this weekend. Not great for Angel, but I do recommend it. If you're into historical dramas, go see The Brink of War. Let's see. Some early reviews or some thoughts here on Paw Patrol. That best of the three. I liked it. I enjoyed it. The last one was kind of a superhero movie. This was a dinosaur movie. We've had a Christmas holiday special. If they do a fourth one, what are they going to do? We will find out. We'll see. Yeah, how about the Bluey movie being CG? Holy cow. That was the biggest surprise, I think, of everything at D23. The big news is that the Bluey movie is CG. Whoa. It's not even like SpongeBob, where the first one was hand-drawn and then they went CG for half of the second one. They're saying for Bluey, nope, we're just going to go CG. Whoa. That really, that's going to be really interesting for fans if they accept that and just go with it. But it'll make the dynamic of the movie, I think, more interesting. Maybe in a positive way, maybe not. We'll have to see. All right, let's talk about some of these other movies that were this weekend. Cat's Eye Wild Hearts, about $3.6 million for that. You have Six, the musical live, which did $3 million. You have Ring of War, as I said, did $2.7 million. You have Toy Story 5 adding $2.3 million. It's at $475 million domestically, well over $1 billion worldwide. I think 1.1 now. One Night Only does not have the Anyone But You momentum. Only $2 million for that this weekend. It's at about $10 million for Universal. And rounding out your top 10 this weekend is Vishwanath and Sons with 1.8 million. Outside the top 10 this weekend, you had, as I mentioned, the Rivals of Messiah King with $1 million. Minions and Monsters is up to 180 million domestically. Moana is at 124.5 million domestically. And Super Troopers 3, only 1.4 million this weekend. It's only at $6.7 million. The last one did 30 million. We're at under 7. That's not good. Your Name, the re-release, did 1.6 million. Don't have the money on Nimrod's, but there you go. So a lot of new movies entered the top 10 this weekend, including, as I said, Six the Musical, and a couple other surprise films that entered the top 10, took some of the summer heavyweights out of there, but Toy Story 5 still going strong. Slow summer weekend, that top 4, though, you look at this top 4, yes, there's a huge gap between 4 and 5, but you look at this top 4, we're at 70, 23, so what is that, 93? 21 would be 114, and then 20 and a half. So what are we at? 135 million for the top 4? That's a good top 4 to have $135 million. So I'd say for theaters it was a very good weekend for 4 films, and then some of these other films snuck in and did a little bit the rest of the way. Tony expanded more. Camp Miasma expanded more, did okay in their limited expansions. Tony goes officially wide this weekend. I do recommend the film. I don't love it, but I love the atmosphere of it, of Cape Cod 1975, and Dominic Sessa and Antonio Banderas are very good. I have problems with the story arc being kind of simple, and there's some awkward scenes, there's some embarrassing moments, and some clunky things about it, but I do recommend Tony. Messiah King should expand this weekend. You also have new movies like Spa Weekend, Hot Spot, The Magic Faraway Tree, which I can talk about more starting tomorrow. I have seen it. My conversation with director Ben Gregor tomorrow at animationscoop.com and lcj.podbean.com. This is a new live-action family film with animation elements, starring Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy, and it's got animation sequences and characters and things in it, so we have a great conversation with him. You will find out how stop-motion animation inspired a lot of this movie, how a lot of Wes Anderson's crew on his stop-motion films were a part of The Magic Faraway Tree, so that is out this weekend, along with the 2 movies that I think, did I mention The Fast and the Furious is getting re-released as well for the 25th anniversary, and then the 2 movies that I think are going to have the biggest impact on the box office next weekend. One is Insidious Out of the Further. This is a huge horror franchise like The Conjuring and a few of the others out there. I think Insidious will do pretty good. It may not be number 1 against Spider-Man Week 4, but it will probably be number 2 at this point, unless The Odyssey has another stellar weekend. And then you have Mutiny, which is Jason Statham, and I'll see this later this week, because, it's another Jason Statham action movie. Some of them are more fun than others. We'll see if Mutiny does anything. It could do $5-6 million. Let's see. We got some people, Sam B. Russell, Kelly's kind of awkward, talking about Camp Miasma. I saw the TV Glow a lot. That first half hour, I will stand by saying that is some of the best, one of the best first half hours of a movie I've seen in the last 10 years. And the rest of the movie is very good as well. But it really starts strong. And I haven't seen Camp Miasma yet. Jason Statham is due for a role. Yes, a good role. Yes. And I know he's going to be in that action movie where he plays himself and kind of goes along with Spy. I'll tell you this about Jason Statham. When I met him at Critics' Choice for Spy in 2016, he said to me he was so nervous about being a part of Spy because he's with all these comedy greats, including Melissa McCarthy and director Paul Feig, and he wanted to make sure he was doing a good job being this comedic version of himself. And he was really nervous about it, but really proud of the film and proud to be in it. So we should be getting another comedic action film from Jason Statham next year with, what is it called? Jason Statham Stole My Bike or something like that. So that will be next year, but we've got Mutiny for this weekend. All right. Yeah, D23, huge news. The new Simpsons movie, that is what it is called. It will be out next September. Of course, the Bluey movie is CG and all the other things that were happening with D23, the big news, the big awards for that are tonight. And yeah, lots of Disney stuff. You got that new Ghost Market Pixar animated film. You've got more details on Incredibles 3 and Frozen 3 and Zootopia 3 and more sequels and other things happening. That Oswald TV series finally going to air in February from Jon Favreau. And so many things came out of D23. The X-Men casting, X-Men confirmed. More on Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. I saw Amy Adams did the 20th anniversary panel of Enchanted. That's really nice. Also, Glenn Close reprised Cruella de Vil for a thing last night, a bit during that show. So, yes, Nick Cage did play himself. I was not a fan of that movie, but he did play himself, and it didn't make a ton of money. So, we'll see how that Statham one does. When we're back here next Sunday at noon Eastern for LCJ Live, we'll see how Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, does in its second weekend. I hope it's over 10 million for that. We'll see how Oak Street does in as well, including Spider-Man's weekend, another for that, another weekend for the Odyssey. And we'll see about Insidious. I could see Insidious doing 20 million or more. Mutiny, 5, 6, 7 million, something in that range. Magic Faraway Tree, I'd like to see do okay, along with some of these other films. And then we will preview how Coyote vs. Acme, which I have seen and I enjoyed. It's quite an ambitious film, quite a lot. We will preview how Coyote vs. Acme and Ridley Scott's The Dog Stars close out the month of August. Like I said, my conversation for the Magic Faraway Tree available tomorrow, and more Q&As coming soon to lights-camera-jackson.com, lcj.podbean.com, animationscoop.com. Mike Sargent and I are recording a new episode of Too Fast, Two Films today. We're going to review The End of Oak Street and The Brink of War. You'll get that soon at toofast2films.com, X at LCJ Reviews, Instagram at LightsCamJackson, YouTube.com/LightsCameraJackson. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. We'll be back next time with more LCJ Live. Until then, stay well, stay positive, support your indoor theaters, support your drive-in theaters. Have a good week. And if you're going to see La La Land, have a good time. One of my 10 favorite movies of all time, turning 10 this year with big 10th anniversary screenings happening in select theaters all over the country. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.